Well, I'm going to try something new here. I don't have anything written about The Favorite. I'm just going to go straight to a video review, which is something I don't think I've done before. You know, normally when I see a movie, the first thing I do is, you know, write down my thoughts, write down a review, and then I transition that to a video. But for The Favorite, I just wrote like a few sentences, a paragraph. It was, I mean, my thoughts on the movie are pretty straightforward. I liked it, but it's weird. I mean, we knew it was going to be really weird from the trailers. I mean, in a good kind of way. This was the first of Yorgos' movies that I've seen. Yorgos Lanthimos. Yorgos. I think I got that right. Maybe not. I never saw The Killing of a Sacred Deer, or The Lobster, or Dogtooth. This was the first of his I've seen, but from what I've heard of the other ones and the trailers I've seen of those are extremely out there movies as well. Which, you know, can be amazing if a movie is strange in all the good ways, but also equally terrible if not handled properly. How many Oscar noms did this get? How many? Not that it matters, the Oscars are garbage, but let's just see. Roma and The Favorite tie for 10 nominations each. Okay, that's insane. I mean, I like this movie, but keep in mind we can't take it seriously. Infinity War did not get a Best Picture nom. Did it even get any nominations? Visual effects. Visual effects. The best movie of last year. The greatest movie of our time. The very best film of last year received 1 nomination for visual effects. But it's okay. I have little Groot here to help sway the incompetence. He's just got Stormbreaker. Had him in my last review. I think as a tribute to Infinity War, I'll just try and place him in every single one of my reviews from now on, at least for this year. He's got Stormbreaker. But anyway, The Favorite. So this movie takes place in the early 18th century in England, which is at war with France. The country is ruled by the Queen, Queen Anne, who clearly does not know what she's doing. And so Rachel Weisz is Lady Sarah, who's like her right-hand woman, and her best friend in the whole world, and is actually the person governing vicariously through the Queen. Just a little power-hungry. And then Emma Stone arrives. She plays Abigail, a lowly servant who is desperate for any job. Turns out her and Sarah are related, as cousins. And soon we see the movie as the two of them vying for the favor of the Queen. So it's them one-upping each other constantly. Not gonna tell you right off the bat I hated the Queen. Like, I absolutely despised her. She was pissing me off for most of the runtime. Yeah, I know you're supposed to hate her, you know, since she's immature and childish and kind of bipolar. Not only being incompetent at ruling the throne, but just having these outbursts. Just random outbursts. You know, sometimes it's funny and other times it's just... that's another thing. This movie isn't exactly like a laugh-out-loud comedy. It's got these little, funny laugh moments throughout and very, like, whimsical performances. Especially by, like, Nicholas Hoult, you know, because it's a period piece. You know, this is the 18th century, but the way they talk and the way they, you know, move, it's as if something, if it were today, if that makes sense. Like, 18th century characters with 20th century mannerisms and personalities in 18th century language, in 18th century setting. Does that make sense? I don't think that made any sense. But Emma is awesome here. I think she's the highlight of the movie. I know that Olivia Colman is getting praise for Best Actress, but she has, I swear to God, she has less screen time than both Rachel Weisz and Emma Stone. So why are they the supporting actors and she's the lead actress? Who knows? But Emma was great, and Rachel was really good too. Really, these powerful performances. I loved that Emma came in and you thought she was just this innocent, coy character, but she ends up being way more devious than she seems. And Rachel, who plays Sarah, you think she's just this cold-hearted, selfish person, but then more is revealed about her and you realize that there's a lot more going on. And yeah, this movie's pretty gorgeous. The cinematography is pretty incredible. They had to have shot everything with this super wide angle lens. I mean, less wide in certain scenes and other scenes it was like, whoa, it's just, your eyes gotta be ready for that. The film is divided into 8 parts. 8? I think it was 8. With title cards presenting each section of the film, with a line of dialogue that is said later on in that scene. Sometimes it's said right after the title card, other times it's not said till like 15 minutes later. So sometimes that's good, sometimes that's just really annoying. This is what I was talking about, weird and strangeness in film being good but also bad. These title cards are a good example because sometimes I was just like, whoa, what does this title card mean? It's like this weird line, you don't know what the context is, and then you hear it later on and you're like, whoa. And my favorite one, I think, was the second or third one. It's a line that Rachel Weisz says while she's shooting ducks with Emma Stone. I can't remember, but it was really good. But the other ones are just kind of there. That shit is weird for weird's sake. I don't know, maybe you're into that kind of stuff. It was, I guess I am sometimes. But I thought it was cool that the key line of dialogue was pretty much presented right off the bat. I think in the very first scene, the Queen asks Sarah to do something for her, and Sarah's like, there are limits on love, and the Queen goes, there shouldn't be, or there should not be. So that's just interesting that the Queen thinks that there shouldn't be limits on what you do for love in terms of the love that Sarah has for her, and then eventually that Emma has for her, or she thinks that Emma has for her, and that Sarah has, you know, no limits on what she's doing for love of her country in terms of how she governs through the Queen, behind the Queen's back. And then Abigail seems to have no limit on love of herself, and all of her actions are driven by her selfishness. But oh god, the Queen's gotta be bipolar. She's just gotta be. She just, the whining and the complaining, it was just annoying. And yeah, props to Olivia Colman for doing a great job acting like she played that role to a T, and I see why she's getting the praise, but just, yeah, it's just not very compelling. Whereas Emma Stone, I loved her in this movie. I think she was like basically perfectly cast, because she's got like that, you know, that innocent girl next door sort of look with her bigger eyes, but she's actually very devious and kind of evil as you see what happens in the movie, and you're just like, holy shit. And then Rachel Weisz was a good choice for Sarah too, like because she's got that very, like, you know, older woman, stern, like experienced matureness, like I know what to do with the country, I know what I'm talking about sort of thing. She had that command. So I believe both of them in their roles, and I enjoyed both of them trying to one-up each other to get favor of the Queen. And then it's just funny that the Queen, Olivia Colman's getting the most praise, but I think she deserves the least praise. Not saying she's a bad actress, but I just think the other two should be praised more. I think that Emma and Rachel should get more praise, but whatever, that's just my opinion. The music is really good at times, but also kind of weird at times. It repeats itself to add this sort of ominous feel. And that works really well in some scenes, in some of the corridor scenes, but like at other times it just goes on, and it's weird. That dance scene, not that I hated it, it's just... Yorgos seems like a talented filmmaker, and that he knows what he's doing, but I feel like he's a troll. I feel like half of these scenes, or a little less than half of these scenes, are just there to be there. Maybe I just didn't see the point of it. Maybe I should see the movie again, but we'll talk about the ending in a second. So there's a lot of quick-witted dialogue, snappy rapports, witty banter between these characters, and Nicholas Holst is really funny too. So I liked a lot of the dialogue in this movie. I liked the screenplay. God, this movie did drag. It really did drag. It's 2 hours long. I felt like the last, 15 or 20 minutes just went on and on. I definitely think like that's part 7 and part 8. I'm like, okay, when we get into the end here. But, not to shit on this movie completely, there are some really great scenes, like when Emma is reading and she is accidentally privy to something she should not be seeing, and the way that scene is filmed and the way the sound is handled and how quiet it gets is just perfect. And I was really like, whoa, that really had me. I loved that reveal. But Yorgos, man, Yorgos just seems so hell-bent on making everything so strange, so intentionally weird. And as I said, sometimes that's great, but it is a thin line to tread. And experimental films can be so much worse than bad narratives in the hands of trolls. If you're going to do something weird for weird's sake, then it's got to be memorable or compelling, or both. Preferably both. I'm not sure I got that with the ending with the rabbits. It was just so fucking weird. I mean, I think I understood the purpose. I think those rabbits that the Queen kept, she had 17 of them, and each one represented one of her kids that she didn't have, that had died during birth, or like never fully made it out, or lived very short lives once they were born. And what happens with the ending with the rabbits and a couple other characters, it's just... You're gonna have to see it yourself. It's not even that great. It's just so weird. And it goes on for a while, a few minutes. And it's just kind of like, okay, I get it. I think I get the point of this scene. And I think he's trying to, like, make it stick with you. But, I don't know. It's just so fucking weird. How many times do I gotta say this is a weird movie? But the costumes are great. The period is wonderful. I think the movie looks amazing. The dialogue is really nice. This is more of like a suspenseful thriller almost than a comedy. It's got a lot of comedic elements, but again, not very laugh out loud. More of these like, sly, clever play on words. I think Emma Stone is the highlight, then maybe Rachel Weisz and Nicholas Holst, and then Olivia Colman. Man, I still don't get her outbursts over the music. I still don't get it. I must have missed something. because the music seems to set her off, or maybe it's just that she's getting uneasy with things being peaceful. Who knows? Who knows? Man, I should have written something down. I don't even remember what I've said. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't want to spoil this movie. Not that there's that much to spoil. You think one thing about the characters, and then they slowly reveal other sides to them. God damn, I hated the Queen. If the whole movie could have just been Emma Stone and Rachel Weisz, it would have been amazing. I really loved them going at each other. I really liked that. Olivia Colman, I know she was supposed to be hated, but doesn't take away the fact that I was just so annoyed every time the Queen was on screen. Oh, there's a new trailer out. Oh no. Oh no.
You really don't know who I am. Genie, wishes, land, none of that ringing a bell.
Oh no. Oh God. This is bad. What the... Will Smith is in Blueface!
Pull up on your block, then I bleed it. Sliding. If I don't drop something, I can't leave it.
No, not that! No, get that out of here! This looks like a joke. This looks like a fan-made film that couldn't get the funding from a studio. Started a GoFundMe, like the Vader film did, and then just shot everything as best as they could on a shoestring budget. There's no way this movie costs more than $1 million. It's impossible. Oh, Disney. I mean, this is still gonna make $1 billion easily, but who the fuck is this dude playing Aladdin? He looks terrible! He's just standing there! Look at him! Well, at least the girl from the Power Rangers movie is here, the Pink Ranger. Loved that movie. She could be pretty good! But what is going on? What is this? Is this Jafar? He sounds terrible! Aladdin? He looks like some fucking caricature. Oh my God. The Cave of Wonders looks like a fucking joke. They didn't even fucking try. Based on this trailer, hopefully this is just a terrible trailer, but I could build a better cave than this. Out of rocks. Fuck made this movie? Who the fuck greenlit this shit? Oh, it's Guy Ritchie. Oh, it's Guy Ritchie. Oh, we're doomed. I mean, I liked his King Arthur, but this dude, man, he's so hit and miss. He's so hit and miss. Like the Sherlock Holmes movies. I saw the first one. It was pretty. I fucking didn't like that movie at all. This is just so terrible. This is so disturbingly poor. You can't just remake a movie like this. Oh, there's the Jungle Book and then this and then the Lion King and then they'll just keep going. It'll just never end. Oh man, Endgame can't get here soon enough.